Seneca was born in Spain around 4 BC and went to Rome when he was 5 years old. He was an ancient Roman politician, Stoic philosopher, tragic writer, and orator. He entered the officialdom during the reign of Tiberius and served as the imperial accountant and senator of the Senate. Later, he served as the consul of judicial affairs and the tutor and advisor of Emperor Nero. Throughout his life, he had brushes with death many times during the reigns of the 3 emperors of the Claudius dynasty in the ancient Roman Empire. He served as a tutor to the Roman Emperor Nero. At one point, Seneca was elected consul, the highest political position a person could hold in Rome. When Nero was young, Seneca actually ruled the Roman Empire. After coming to power, Nero became a ruthless tyrant who killed indiscriminately. In 65 AD, due to his nephew, the poet Lucan, plotting to assassinate Nero, the suspicious Nero forced him to admit his involvement in the murder and gave him the punishment of suicide. Seneca was forced to commit suicide by taking poison at the age of 69. He advocates that people use inner peace to overcome the pain in life and promotes sympathy and benevolence. He wrote a total of 9 tragedies and 1 satire throughout his life, mostly based on Greek tragedies. His works have a noble and serious style, mixed with a lot of moral preaching, which makes the dialogues and characters in his works lack authenticity. His representative work is the tragedy Trojan Women. He devoted his life to reconciling philosophical beliefs with the pursuit of honor, power, and wealth. Seneca wrote extensively throughout his life, touching upon all practical fields that could serve as research subjects. There are 12 existing philosophical works, including talks and essays on morality, 124 essays and prose collected in Moral Letters and Natural Problems, and 9 literary works such as tragedies. In human history, many great philosophers have left behind their thoughtful and wise words, among which the ancient Roman philosopher Seneca is undoubtedly one. Seneca is renowned for his profound ideas and vivid expressions, and his famous sayings represent the essence of the Stoic philosophy of ancient Rome, embodying the true meaning of life. Seneca said that those who are willing will be led by fate. Those who refuse, fate drags them along. It seems that the more animals compete with the reins, the tighter they will pull. Any reins will cause less damage if they follow it, and the more they struggle against it, the greater the damage. The only remedy for the evil that comes under pressure is to accept it and bow down to necessity. In the philosophical palace of ancient Rome, Seneca was renowned for his profound insight into life and death. His ideas have gone through thousands of years and still ripple in our hearts today. In the chaotic world, we often get lost between the fear of death and the weariness of life. However, Seneca's wisdom reminds us that the essence of life lies not in its length, but in how we give it meaning. Seneca's works are a condensed version of his life, and he has a profound understanding of life. Let's take a look together. There are no secrets in the world unless the secret can be kept automatically. For successful people, being able to discard useless things is a necessary ability. In the face of fear, you know you will die. In the face of desire, you feel you can live forever. You often hear people say, "I will live a leisurely life when I am 50, and I will give up all my public office when I am 60. But how can you guarantee that you can live to that day? Do you think everything will go according to your wishes? Don't you feel ashamed? If one realizes from the beginning that death is something that one must face from birth, One can live under this premise and ensure that one has enough courage to face anything without being surprised. It is difficult for people who fear death to do things that are worth doing as living people. What happens to one person can happen to everyone. People tend to envy things that are close at hand, but they are often able to freely appreciate works from the distant past. It is pitiful to fill your life with trivial matters, but it is even more pitiful to fill your life with other people's trivial matters. If there is no equivalent return, no one can take away my time, not even a day. Even when we are surrounded by flatterers, our biggest flatterer is still ourselves. Symptoms can manifest in countless ways, but the end result is only one: dissatisfaction with oneself. Forcing is not conducive to the expression of nature, and once it goes against nature, it is difficult for people to achieve success. Only when a person will never lose again will he be the happiest. Even so, you must avoid those who are always frowning and complaining everywhere. It is not that such people are disloyal or unkind, but their anxiety and pessimism about everything are definitely a disturbance to peace of mind. The most ideal property situation is that it is neither lower than the poverty line nor too much higher than it. As long as one has the good medicine of frugality, poverty can also be transformed into wealth. Everything in the world, no matter how important it may seem, is actually insignificant and meaningless. Without the expectation of success, it is easier for people to cope with the disappointment that comes with failure. Things that appear bad on the surface are often not so in reality. Misfortune will avoid the most cowardly coward, as if to say, "Why should I choose that person as my opponent? He will just surrender immediately. You can't take anything away from me. If someone is willing to give, it can't be considered stealing." On the safe road, there are only cowards who live a life of mediocrity. For a true warrior, his journey is always lofty and far-reaching. No matter how you die, the process is fleeting. Don't you feel embarrassed to spend so much time worrying about something that can be over in an instant? I choose to follow the example of my predecessors rather than repeat their words. If you are on a journey to find a happy life, the easiest and most frequently traveled path is the most deceptive. In fact, we often ignore things that are within our reach, and what trips us up in the darkness may be the very thing we are searching for. Only by underestimating happiness can one truly reap happiness. Happy people have sound judgment. They are content with the status quo and find ways to come to terms with whatever circumstances may be around them. Meeting the favor of fate is the beginning of a person's slavery. After that, his life will become anxious, suspicious, nervous, fearful of misfortune, and worried about variables. In my eyes, wealth occupies a certain position. But in your eyes, it occupies the most important position. In short, I have wealth, and you are owned by wealth. All good luck comes with anxiety, because luck, like fairness, is unreliable. Nothing makes people happier than true and loyal friendship. Solitude can heal our aversion to crowds, while crowds can alleviate our loneliness in solitude. The two are each other's antidote. People are unwilling to share their money, but will let others share their lives. People are stingy with personal property, but don't care about wasting time, even though time is the only wealth worth cherishing. How much of your life have you wasted on useless worries, ignorant joys, greedy desires and worldly temptations. You have very little time left for yourself. Once you realize this, you will understand that although you live a long life, you have already died. What we truly live is only a small part of life. The rest cannot be considered as life. At most, it can only be considered as time. The principle of giving favors should be not to ask for any return, but to be able to make people want to give back. Everything is bad beyond a certain limit, and among them, the excess of ease is the most harmful. It weakens the will. Anger is a temporary mental disorder. Thorough despair often owns the most unyielding courage. Free people live under thatched roofs, while slaves reside under marble and gold. It's not because things are difficult that we dare not do them. It's because we dare not do things that it becomes difficult. What often torments us is imagination, not facts. If a person doesn't know which pier they are heading towards, then no wind will be a tailwind. Being drunk is just a conscious madness. Poison is often served in a golden cup. Loyalty bought with money will definitely be bought away with money. Whoever trembles and makes a request will definitely be rejected. All cruelty arises from cowardice. Life is not short, but we have wasted too much. People who don't know how to live also don't know how to die. The true greatness lies in having a fragile mortal body, but possessing an unbeatable divinity. The more honest a person is, the more unlucky they are. You should never believe that someone who builds their happiness on the pain of others will find happiness. When one is slightly sad, one speaks. When one is greatly sad, one is quiet. The heart of repaying kindness is nobler than anything else. Why cry for a part of your life? Don't you see all of your life shed tears? Don't really worry. Many of you will never meet the true love of your dreams in your lifetime. You will only choose to find someone random and feed each other out of fear of dying alone. The sun shines on the earth and makes no distinction between good and evil on earth. Why keep crying for a part of life? In fact, life itself is tearful. If a person wants to escape before doing something, they will definitely feel even more painful when it is about to happen.